Well, Coach P, thank you so much for joining us today. Excited to talk all things Grambling football, even in this unique spring season.
Right. Well, I tell you what, it is unique. It's unique from the standpoint that we haven't been here ever before. There are a lot of things that are going on in the world, not just here at Grambling State University, that we look at and we know that, there are bigger things in life, but this is that normalcy, that thing that you can kind of pull back to and say, sport is that thing that pulls people together, kind of lead. You think about it now, look at what the professional teams are doing as far as leading, showing us how to deal with the pandemic, that kind of thing like that. So I just have to say off the bat that I am so proud of our staff, our training staff, our equipment managers, all of our staff people for how they actually handled the pandemic. I mean, President Gallo always says this word nimble, so we have to be nimble, we have to be adaptable, we have to be able to, first and foremost, keep our student athletes safe, and then put them in the best possible situation to succeed.
Of course, we're going to get to the actual game. We'll talk about the football, but to get to that point, like you've mentioned, there is a lot of effort that goes into it by the staff, by the training department especially, just kind of so people understand, what has gone into being able to pull this season off, the testing, how often these players are doing this, and the extra steps that you have to take to ensure that you get a Grambling football team on that field on Saturdays.
Well, let's look at this. You have a regular job, which is training, which is making sure you take testing and all of the things that go around testing and protocols and contact tracing. Now you're doubling their jobs. So we have all of our sports competing in one semester. And when you're testing 1,200 to 1,500 tests a week, student athletes are getting tested three times a week, sometimes more. It's extremely trying. It's extremely trying. It's trying for the student athletes because they don't really want to do this. They'd rather be on a practice field, and it can also be disappointing. We've had situations where we've had kids to come in who test positive, and thank God we haven't had a major outbreak or anything like that. But then not only does that kid not able to participate, but those who've been contacted around him. So you can literally take out the offensive line, say for instance, or the defensive line, or the defensive back. So I think between the coaches and our training staff and our equipment manager, our strength and conditioning coaches, they are being so on our student athletes about making sure that everything, because we call it a family, it's Gram Fam. So we look at it like you have to take care of family. So that means that if it means you can't go out tonight, or you can't do this, or you can't be around certain individuals because of, then that's what you have to do, because family comes first.
Year of sacrifice for sure for the Gram fam, but hey, a lot of Gram famers are grateful that it's happening, because I know that you've been itching to get everybody back on the field to have that experience. We're going to talk about the State Fair Classic, obviously, how important it was to keep these classics on the schedule and to have these games that are played every year, even when there's only a 6-game conference-only schedule. Like, why was this so important?
Very important, very important. I think that, again, getting back to some form of normalcy, even though we won't have as many fans in the stands, but fans can see and they can feel and they can touch, and it's hope. At the end of the day, it's hope. And having these classics are something that you come together every year. They wait on this. I'm getting calls every day, and I mean, like, we're still playing the classic. Yes, we're playing the classic. We want you to mask up, stay safe, keep social distancing, but we will be playing the classic. And it's important to our players, it's important to our fans, and the institutions as well, because it keeps the hard work academically, athletically, in the forefront of what our student athletes are doing, even in this pandemic.
Okay, obviously during the pandemic, mental health has probably become a major thing that an athletic department deals with. Obviously, you have your trainers for physical injuries, but when a student athlete's schedule is completely adjusted, there's a lot of strains on them mentally. So kind of as an athletic department, how have you guys been able to take advantage of this off season in a way to address those mental health issues and help these players off the field?
Well, any athlete or individuals who've been around athletes know that athletes are very rigorous about their schedules, about being on time. It's like the rigorous going over and over and over again, and when that's interrupted, it kind of throws you off, So our athletic trainers have done a great job with partnering with some of our agencies in the area that are helping us with mental health. We've had to focus on that a lot because that gets lost in the shuffle a lot of times. People really don't understand how important being in a positive frame of mind is, knowing what you're supposed to be doing, feeling like you have someone to go to and talk to. So we've been really reaching out to our players. Our coaches have done a phenomenal job of talking to when we were not back at school, when we were away.